Alright, Retro John here with another video. Uh, there's been a delay on the Bunny Senpai opening. We're also going to cover some brief thoughts on what's going on with Gamergate, plus a little bit of other gamer drama. Just not something I particularly wanted to get into, but I feel with the way things have been progressing, just kind of wanted to share my thoughts. And this is just going to be a very, like usual, very candid video, unscripted. Just all of that is not my style to do videos like that, where they're scripted and all that stuff is meh. So we're gonna get right into it. So the Bunny Senpai delay. I really don't know how to go about this one, because as annoying as it is, the person who is selling me the case is a very reputable company. I'll give them the shout out when it finally arrives. But the distributor did not order him any product for the Volume 3 set that came out this past week. So, unfortunately, it might be this week, next week, or the week after. That finally arrives. Might be a little longer. We haven't fully figured out any of that yet. I should be finding out today. So there's some good news there. So for now, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt on this one, because I've bought with them in the past. This is going to be my first regular set opening, so we're going to have lots of promos to look at. We're going to have the playmat. We're going to see if we can get any of those, I think it's AGRs. For the set, or the, like, I guess the equivalency of the SSPs. There's quite a few SPs and a couple of OFRs, so we'll see what we get. We'll have some fun with it. Hopefully I'll be a bit more emotional if I hit the two big AGRs, because those are definitely worth getting into. We're also going to do some mail day stuff as stuff goes along. What else? Trying brain everywhere, so bear with me. If anyone is curious, this is live gameplay. I just have it muted. My controller going haywire. May or may not be in the background from the earthquakes. Anyway. So yeah, there is a delay. I should be finding out later today. I'll pin a comment for those curious. Now I'm going to get into Gamergate, which, like I said, I really didn't want to get into, but here we are. So, Gamergate 2, which I was unaware of even a Gamergate 1, I'm going to be real, because I I just didn't really think about it. I guess that was during a time period I was way into WoW. I had just gotten pandas. Um, I had pre-ordered Warlords of Draenor, never even touched it. I'm gonna be honest, because Destiny 1 came out, and I was super into that. Played the beta, all that jazz. Had a lot of fun. So 2014, 2015 for me were full of RPGs, shooters. I think towards the end of it, I was even playing Ark with 2015 because of my personal displeasure in how Taken King took the power leveling system. Yep, yep. Don't die, don't die. And it is what it is. Bungie has since then improved in that area, but has also since then been very bad at other things, to say the least. I personally am not going to do the final shape. That might have been stream worthy, might have not been. I'm just gonna let it be what it's gonna be. Just I'm respectfully bowing out of the franchise because just I do not like the forced liberal whatever, because just I don't feel it necessary to force that into a video game. And I think Sony as a company is starting to really see like Bungie has the potential to be something great like it once was, because you gotta understand, Bungie was the OG Halo games. They one of their original games was the old Marathon, and they're trying to turn it into I think it was an extractor shooter, if I remember correctly. Like, it's fun. Like I've played extractor shooters. Helldivers is an extractor shooter. It's just way more forgiving, say the least. Like your loadouts are what you pay for and you unlock. What was? Trying to remember the one I did play for a little bit when I was taking a Destiny break, but like you had an inventory, and whatever you put in had it on your inventory. If you died, unless you insured it, which was only stuff that you brought with you, you lost everything, and you needed materials to make stronger weapons and all this other stuff. It was fun, but it reached a point where there was a definite skill gap and all this other stuff, and I will say it was not the kindest thing for players who want to experience it but are a lot more casual. So with that unfortunate circumstance, I'd about it. I don't have the time to really game like I used to. Like, I have my days off where I can, but outside of that, like, there's not really much I can do to keep up other than just play the content when I can. In a matter such as that, kind of sucks to suck. It is what it is. But back to the Gamergate 2 stuff, like, just the wokeness, Sweet Baby Inc., all this other stuff, like, I really didn't want to talk about it, but, like, one of their goons talked crap about Akira Toriyama, and growing up with OG Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, like all that good stuff. Like I felt like my childhood was disrespected. Because you gotta understand, like Mr. Popo's a djinn. He's a genie. Like, and I don't know why people were bringing up stuff that doesn't exist. I guess when it comes to racism and touchy subjects like that, like, um, just you gotta understand, like, we didn't, as a kid, I didn't look at it like that. Like, I would have never thought of it like that because I was born in the 90s. I grew up in an era where that was not our thought process. Like, we viewed people as people. And DBZ abridged, Popo would laugh if he thought he was people because he views people less than him. um, and these goobers are missing their shots so bad. You, you missed. So, yeah, like, I generally don't see what the problem is with Mr. Popo. He's a, like, he has the Superman kind of plot armor. He's only as strong as he needs to be. Like, he trained Super Saiyans. Like, with Goten and Trunks. Granted, they're a couple of kids, but you gotta look in the terms of their grand scheme of things. That's still nuts. When you think about him training Goku and the rest of the Z Warriors back in the Saiyan arc, like thinking about him like still being able to train people after all that time is kind of crazy to think about. I missed so bad. Just kind of irksome on it, and I'm gonna try making this video last as long as this mission before I cut it. But like that and Sweet Baby has been behind a lot of garbage games lately, and I hear about people talking about Blacklist, and I'm like, ooh, I'm not a developer, so I don't really don't care. And I really feel bad for people in the industry who want to make good games, write good games, all this other stuff, and they can't because you got these nimrods you have to hire to get your money, cheap money to make your expensive game, and the whole DEI score. Like, here's my thing. Here's my hot take. Is I would much rather make sure I get the best of the best for developing my title than filling some quota for someone who has no involvement other than being the wallet for the game. Because, and I'm really not understanding why all these places are being so hardcore with this decision making, but if I'm running a company or a development studio and these things cost millions and millions of dollars, like, my thing is this: would I not want to make sure that the game I have in development is the best it can be? Of course I do. Why? Because at the end of the day, I should be trying to make money. Because without the ability to make money, I can't pay my employees, I can't continue to pay the development of future titles to make even more money, and the list goes on. So why would I see other studios making the decisions they're making and repeating again and again and again, and watch them burn all this into the ground, essentially? Uh, I'm sorry, that's idiotic. It's a dumb business move, and I'm not understanding why it's the commonplace for the gaming industry right now. I'm really not. And I just kind of feel bad for these developers that do know better, but because they're in their dream job, they don't want to lose their job. They're forced into this rock and a hard place where they kind of have to be under the foot of these dummies that are essentially putting these guys out of business, and they're threatened to be put out of business if they don't comply. And I find that to be extremely sad. Why are these not? I think it's because my oh, there we go. Just, I want to see these companies go back to their glory days where they were amazing companies. They weren't predatory, trying to microtransaction you to death. They weren't trying to beat you over the head with some spiel. Because at the end of the day, these games are for escapism. Like, and the way to put lightly, the way to put it most lightly is, like, we're trying to do our bet. Like, we deal with a lot of stuff, like, as people through our day-to-day experiences. Why would I want to continue to be beat over the head with all this virtue signaling and all this other crap on my off time? Because I personally don't. I think that's dumb. I work for a extremely liberal location, and I just kind of let it just kind of, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of glaze over at it because I just don't get the need to beat the kind of stuff they beat into us over the head every single day. I find it extremely silly, without going into specifics. But like, that's not what gaming is for. It's not for your like you're an entertainment company. Entertain us. Don't preach the same crap all the failing Disney movies and the other failing movies are constantly doing. Like, actually work on making quality product again. You got Helldivers, you got Pow World, you got all these other. Nightingale is still rough around the edges. I love the game. Still extremely rough and a little short right now because I'm in the end game loop. But said, live gameplay. I got 3 seconds. We have these quality games. Helldivers, they even said no to the woke community about specific types of flags and capes, and I'm all for it. That's very rare in a Western company to stand up to that. And I'm extremely proud of Arrowhead for taking a stance on that. How am I supposed to blow this up? Anyway, continuing on, like, there's also the whole controversy with that team lead for the new Black Panther game who refused to fire or hire any white people and explicitly said that she felt unsafe around them, and the only way she feels like she can get any work done or do it appropriately was to hire people like her, and extremely illegal. Extremely, incredibly illegal. And I don't know what else to say on that one, like, other than, like, I would be really surprised if she didn't get sued into the ground on that. And for the sake of the legacy of how great of a franchise the Black Panther is as a comic book, and for series and all that, I kind of really hope that this game does not make it out into the world, because I would really hate for the legacy of a Black Panther game to be because people were being racist, which is the exact opposite of what Black Panther is supposed to stand for. Like Black Panther came from an era where, like, you never heard of, like, superheroes like that, especially, like, superheroes from the country of Africa. I think I would have to look into it, but I don't know if Black Panther came first or the Falcon. But I really don't want the legacy of that to be that was developed under incredibly racist development lead, because that's just very disheartening, honestly, that we're at a day and age where we talk about diversity and being against racism and everything, but lo and behold, we're got people who are still very openly racist and try to act like they're not and try to justify it. And I think that's, like, it doesn't matter who you are, like, racism is racism. And I think the so-called Gamergate 2 is finally the normal gaming population putting their foot down on this stuff. Because why should we give our money to people that don't want to respect us as the customer? You got WotC, who had the 50-year anniversary of D&D and spat in Gary Gygax's face about it not including their like meeting their inclusivity standards and all this other stuff. And I'm like, what are you getting on about? Like, this was made 50 years ago in the 70s. Like, and I don't think it meant anything with some of the way they were describing characters. I think it was just a fictional world for us to be whatever we wanted to be in it. Um, uh, what else? There's a lot, and mission's over, but I don't know. I think AAA and like all these big companies like Hasbro and all that, like I think it's finally becoming evident with some people that their ship is starting to set sail. Like it's finally time for us as the consumers to speak with our wallets that we're tired of their crap, we're tired of having I don't even know how to put this into good words. I guess having us constantly feeling spat upon and them being at a point where like it's a Call of Duty game, they'll just buy it. It's a Pokemon game, they'll just buy it. Or we're Hasbro, we make Transformers, of course they're gonna buy our stuff. Like I think it's finally time for us as consumers to finally put our foot down and show that we're tired of their crap. Just plain and simple. We're tired of their crap. There's no better way to describe it. Because it's honestly getting tiresome as a whole. Like, for us to be treated like we're just a company's wallet. Yeah, and we're not being respected as the consumer. So, everyone's entitled to their own opinions. That's the great thing about being an individual, especially in America. Um, but at the root of it all, though, like, we need to show that these smaller gaming companies are putting out much better stuff than they are, and we're all for it. Uh, there's no other big way to put it besides that, because, well, that's what it is. What else before we wrap this up? So yeah, I guess to summarize everything for the people that want to skip to the last like 30 seconds of the video where make things very clear. Bunny Senpai is going to be a week or two, hopefully not much longer than that. We'll still be trying to do Bochi in June. I've already talked to someone local about getting my hands on that. So that'll be fun. Let's see here. What else? My apologies. My brain is trying to fathom everything. So yeah, Bunny Senpai, we'll hopefully be getting news on that sooner or later. I'll pin the comment when I finally get that. Uh, didn't really know about a Gamergate 1, so Gamergate 2 is pretty much the gaming community finally speaking with their wallets, much to the begrudgment of these big AAA companies. Sick of SBI trying to stranglehold everybody, and trying to blame us for everything and throwing their little hissy fit because people finally became wise to the situation at hand. What else is there to say? WotC, making it very clear why I quit WotC like a year ago. Between this mess they've been doing, and they've been doing this for a while, and honestly, between the 30th anniversary and how ridiculous they were doing that, and the Pinkerton thing, that's why I ultimately left. And I'm glad I did. That's how I got into Weiss. That's why I'm doing the occasional Pokemon thing again. I'm still debating between Lorcana or Digimon. I'm leaning towards Digimon, but once Weiss and Pokemon get a bit more situated, I'll probably start doing Digimon. I'm just trying to at least solidify what's already been established. When Power World does some more content stuff, I'll do some actual Power World videos. When Nightingale does some updates, I'll go back into Nightingale. For now, I'll probably just do some Helldivers videos, probably like once or twice a week. It'll probably just be like a mission or 2 missions if I'm doing a blitz and a normal mission. What else? I think that's it. I honestly think that's it. I was pretty long-winded, even without a script. Just kind of letting the thoughts run wild. I just kind of wanted to put my stance on this whole Gamergate thing and the whole Black Panther thing and WotC, and I just wanted to make it very clear that I want us as the gaming community, it's time for us to kind of show that we're tired of being given garbage for premium prices when there are people giving us way better stuff at a much better value. Especially if you're putting $500-600 into a console, or you're spending several hundred to maybe a couple grand into building your own PC. I think when it gets to the point where I do have to get a new rig, I might buy a pre-built, where I can customize it. Haven't decided who I'm going to go with yet. Or I might do a video where I'm just putting together a PC and just being a blockhead. Haven't decided yet. My computer's not even 4 years old yet, so that's probably not going to be anytime soon. But I think doing just a video of me out in the wild just kind of doing nerd stuff might be a little bit of fun. And I don't know. Maybe I'll do some Pokemon Blue or Leaf Green, Fire Red, whichever one, doesn't really matter. I prefer Leaf Green because I like Bellsprout over Oddish. Come at me. So yeah, I might do a couple of videos like that. I might see what the Switch shop has and maybe set up a capture card, do some stuff on that. For 2025, when Pokemon ZA comes out, I'm hopeful. They're waiting a year instead of saying, "Hey, we're gonna have this game in 7, 8 months. Be ready." Hopefully, they'll release it around December of next year. I want to give them like all of this year and next year to get it in development and shipped out. If there has to be a day one patch, maybe they can find that out like on launch day as it's launching in Japan, so that way we can go ahead and have it ready first thing in the morning on midnight Friday when we can play it here in my time zone. And honestly, I really hope that Pal World kind of kicked Nintendo's butt in the right direction. I'm gonna be honest, I don't view it as a Pokemon competitor. I view it as an Arc competitor because it's plays not the same as Arc, but there's enough similar elements to it where I do feel like it's closer to Arc than it is to Pokemon. Because you're still catching pals in spheres instead of Pokemon in Pokeballs, and you have a party instead of just a bunch of random dinosaurs. But it reached a point in Arc where you did have those cryo capsules, and you could mass produce those and use them like a Pokeball, and carry a squad with you. And yes, they have, what are they, abilities instead of moves or techniques, whatever. Like I said, there's some Pokemon similarities, obviously, like the typings and everything, but it's, at the end of the day, it's a survival game. It's a base building game and a resource management game. Honestly, yeah, it's more like Digimon, where if you gave Tai an AO, like an assault rifle or a rocket launcher instead of the power of friendship to fight the bad guys with, instead of just sitting, like, that's how I view it. I summon my big dinosaur or whatever, and I literally fight with it instead of yelling, "You can do it," and through the power of willpower and friendship, I can make it soar to new heights. It's also a great sweatshop simulator once you build your base high enough. So there's that. Nightingale, like an MMO survival game. I do like the fact that you can decide to make your realm single player, so you have access to your resources at your own whim, instead of competing for it with other players. So that way, when you do these vaults and stuff with people, it's easier to be at cap with everybody else. I do appreciate that. So there's that, and then Helldivers is just, it's chaotic fun. It's refreshing to not be the main character. You're just a dude getting progressively better equipment to take on stuff for Super Earth and Democracy. So we're having some fun with that. But all in all, I'm going to wrap this up. Hopefully very soon we'll have some news. Hopefully by the end of today. If at the end of tomorrow I do not receive anything from the gentleman about the Bunny Senpai cases, I will send an email, and then as soon as I do get a notification from him, I will pin the comment with an update so people can know when to expect it. I'll probably pin a comment on this video, and I'll just do a general, I guess, whatever post on my channel. So if you're subscribed, you'll see it in the feed. Thank you all for listening to my rant, and we'll see you in the next one.